Hey, how you doing? So today I've got a really important video for you. Okay, so this is a video that is from our day 4 of our triple threat webinar that we did. We did a day 1 on stocks, day 2 on forex, day 3 on options, day 4 on the most important topic in trading, which is our mindset, right? The trading psychology, right? The optimal mindset for trading, because no matter how many strategies that you learn, okay, what good is a strategy if you can't follow it? Like, literally, the mindset, the psychology, your thought process is the single most important thing in trading, because you can learn a setup. Well, what good is a setup if you don't follow your plan, right? What good is a setup if you don't even hold it to target, you sell it too soon, right? What good is a setup if when it hits your stop loss you don't get out? So what was supposed to be a small loss turns into a huge loss. Does that sound like you? Right? It was sure me when I started trading. For me, the bigger issue when I started trading was I was never able to hold on to my trades to target. I was always get out too soon. I would miss out on the run, and I would be like, oh, shoulda, woulda, coulda, I should have been in it, should have been in it. And I just got tired of it, right? And I worked on myself. I worked on my mindset, my psychology, to really work on it and improve myself, right? And since then, I've been doing pretty well. I hold my stuff to target. I don't do stupid things. I don't, hold my losers beyond my stop loss. I get out. I take my small loss. I move on. So, being a disciplined trader is the single most important thing. And I think a lot of people spend time on the wrong things. They spend time on learning the next big setup, the next best indicator, right? The next best candlestick pattern. But again, all of that is of no good if you don't follow the strategy, if you don't stick to your plan, right? You got to be a confident trader, especially as a day trader, right? More so, because day trading is fast. You got to think on your toes, be confident, be fully confident in your strategy, and then being able to follow it. So today's lesson, right? You're gonna love it for sure. You're gonna love it, and I'm too confident, right? In fact, too confident that you're gonna learn something from it, and you're gonna benefit from it. And so definitely enjoy this 1 hour class that I have for you. This was a webinar we did yesterday. This is in fact one of the replays from a trading psychology course that I taught. I taught a 6-hour mindset trading psychology intensive course, right? And I did this for charity a while back, and I also do it for hedge funds. And a lot of people, don't know about me, but I trade for myself. But then I also consult and I work with pretty popular trading firms in New York City. Some of whom have their own websites, they have their own courses and programs. But I consult with them, so I'm paid $10,000-$20,000 to go out and speak to proprietary trading firms, their traders, hedge fund traders, and I work with them specifically on their mindset, the psychology part of it, because you all know how important it is, right? If you ever watched the show Billions, you know that girl who's like the therapist for all the traders, right? Who kind of guides them and gets them thinking and improving and getting better. So that's what I do, outside of live traders, is I consult with trading firms, and I go out and speak to their traders, kind of evaluate their results, and just get them in the right frame of mind. I'm not saying be robotic, but the right frame of mind, which is following your trading plan and focus on getting better every single day and not letting your emotions ruin it, because the most important thing in trading is what's between your two ears, your psychology. Everything starts here. Okay, so I honestly think outside of all the courses that I've taught, I've taught the strategy class, trading with an edge, the forex course, options course. I think outside of all the courses that I've taught, this is the most, this is the course that I'm proud of myself most about, right? This is probably my best work ever. This is probably, I would say, my life's best work. My best teaching ever is in this course that I taught, the trading psychology course. So we're gonna go into that shortly. So let's get started. Get ready. This is an hour-long recording. Okay, so make sure you turn off your phones and you really pay attention. Okay, if you're just listening to it without really being here, it's not gonna do you any good. So again, hope you guys are ready. We did screw up the recording. I recorded all the sessions and uploaded it on YouTube. For some reason, due to bad internet, this recording got messed up. So now I have it for you. I'm editing for you, bringing it out to you, and I hope you learned something from it. After you're done watching, I want to hear your thoughts on what you thought. So please comment below. Let me know what you thought. And if you got something out of it, if it sparked something for you, I want to know about it. So that tells me that, okay, I should be making more videos like this. Because a lot of retail traders, they don't like topics like this, right? They want to learn the next best pattern, the next best candlestick strategy, right? But honestly, I don't like talking about that because, as I said, strategy will do you no good if you can't follow it. So if you like more of these conversations, I want to hear about it so I can make more videos like it, okay? So stay tuned, enjoy this webinar, get a cup of coffee, get a pen, get a piece of paper, and enjoy.
All right. So welcome everybody to Mastering the Trader Within, new trading class that we're going to be teaching today. So morning, Wahid, Stephen, Shalom, Patty, Omar, Mark, Leslie, Lee, Kathy, Joseph, Joe, Jose, Joel, Jeff, Jay, James, Glenn, David, two Davids in a row, Arlene, and Anupam. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the trading psychology class. So just a few, before we get started, just a few housekeeping announcements. The class is being recorded, okay? So the class is being recorded, and everybody after the class, in a week or so, everybody's going to receive the video recording of this class as well as the slides. All right? So that will be taken care of. You don't have to worry about that. The other thing I would ask is no private messages during the course because, I'm recording the course, and when you guys send a PM, it kind of pops up and can ruin the recording. So please don't private message everything we'll be using in the public chat for today. And also, I wanted to welcome you guys to the class. So a couple housekeeping things again. Make sure if you guys have a cell phone or something like that, please turn it off for this class because if you really want to get out the most from this class, you got to really be here, right? Not just listen to me, not just hear me out, but actually be here and be in the conversation, because that's what trading psychology is. Trading psychology is not something you can master just by reading a slideshow or just by listening to somebody, right? So really be here. So if you have your phone with you, I would urge you to turn your phone off, right? If you're in a home office, then I would say take 2 minutes out, let your girlfriend, let your wife, let your kids know that, daddy or mommy is going to be busy for the next few hours so that they don't disturb you. Because what happens is when trading psychology, you get into these conversations and you start thinking, your brain starts working, right? And you start thinking of things and ways to improve. And when you get interrupted, by a phone call, when you get interrupted by an email, when you get interrupted by your wife, your kids, it could really take you off course from the discussion that we're going to have here today, okay? So I would really urge you guys to, again, turn up your cell phones, inform your wife, your kids, your husbands that, you're going to be busy, so that you can actually be here now for this conversation that we're going to have here today. All right? So with that being said, I just wanted to get an idea of what kind of audience we have here. I mean, I recognize most of the names. Most of you guys are PTS grads or are already in the room, but then there are some names that I might not fully recognize. So just before we get started, can you type in a 1 if you've been trading for more than 1 year? All right, cool. So a lot of people who've been around the block, so to speak, right? A lot of people. So everybody's been trading for more than 1 year. That's awesome. That's fantastic. That's awesome to hear. Now, here's my second follow-up question to that question. Now, how many of you are PTS grads, and how many of you are not? So type in a 1 if you've taken PTS or things like that. Awesome, cool. So Joseph's taken, Leslie, Mark, Kathy, Jay, and Shalom. Okay, so 0. Okay, yeah, type in a 0 if you have not taken it. All right, cool. Awesome. Great. So, it's not really going to make a difference to what you're going to get out of the class. You're going to get out of the class exactly what's intended to, to be get out. Now, the reason why I asked that question is because a lot of the things, make more sense when you have a trading plan, right? Because a lot of the issues that traders have that arise from, trading really come from within their trading plan. So the reason I asked that question is because if you're taking PTS, you kind of have a strategy, right? And now we just need to get you to go to that next level, right? And those who've not taken PTS, you might have another strategy that you're trading, but trading psychology, issues are something that every trader has, regardless of where you're trading, what you're trading, and how you're trading. Okay, so let's dive in to the disclaimer. So before we move on with the class, just legal disclaimer here that any information provided is for educational purposes only. We're not a registered investment broker or dealer, or we're not an advisory service, right? And if any stocks that we might be going over today, I might or might not hold positions on those stocks. Okay, and any opinions that we are expressing here, obviously are my opinions and the opinions of the educators, and it's not really necessarily investment advice. Okay, and again, trading in any capacity involves substantial risk of loss. Basically, if you're involved in trading, you can lose money. And I'm actually going to go as far as to say that it's not that you can lose money. Like you will lose money, right? Everybody does. I lost money for the whole first year. So it's not that trading can have risk or you might lose money. You will lose money. That's a given. Everybody does lose money. Okay. So now that we have that disclaimer out of the way, we can get started with our class that we had set out today. Now, this course has really been divided into 5 chapters, right? We're going to have an introduction. We're going to take a look at the true cost of our emotions. We're going to take a look at some charts and see what we have at the moment as far as our thought process is concerned. We're going to take a look at personal turning points. We're going to cover a lot of the different things. So the whole course is really divided into 5 chapters. However, my goal here is not really to teach you based on the slides. My goal is to really have a discussion with you, because I personally feel trading psychology, it has so much to do with our mindset, right? It has to do a lot with our mindset, pretty much everything with our mindset, that I really feel the best way to overcome any challenges that we might be having in our trading is to really do it in a conversational style. So it really starts to make sense. And today what you're going to find out is that a lot of what we cover today is not really just trading, right? A lot of these things we're going to be covering today are applicable to the rest of your life too, right? Because I firmly believe that how you do something is how you do everything, right? So a lot of people say, oh, I'm great, I'm doing great in my life, I'm doing amazing, my family life's great, my health is great, everything's great. Oh, it's just trading that I'm having issues with. And I really want you to consider that it's not just trading. I really want you to consider that there's other areas of life that these things do show up. These patterns do show up. As humans, we are simply pattern recognition machines. That's all we ever are. We're just pattern recognition machines. So what happens in our personal life does, seek in to our professional life. That's a fact. Okay. So now, what's the intention of this class? Okay. Because every time I teach a class, I want to have an intention. So the intention of this class is for you guys not to learn how to become a professional trader. It's not for you to learn how to strengthen your mindset. My goal here is not to teach you guys how to have a strong mindset. My goal is not to teach you guys to be, mentally fit or mentally strong, or, be robots or overcome your emotions. That's not the intention of the class. The intention of the class is not for you to learn anything, right? You're going to learn nothing today, okay? The intention of the class is not to learn. The intention of the class is for you to come out of this class being a professional trader, right? Living the embodiment of what a professional trader is, or what the characteristics are. So I'm going to tell you this up front. And in trading, it's not really legally allowed to make statements like this, but I'm going to go ahead and make it anyway. I personally feel that if you really be here today, right, in the conversation, and every time we talk about something, try and put yourself in those shoes. Try and think about, is this a pattern that is showing up in my life, right? Try and think about areas outside of trading. Is this pattern showing up somewhere else? That's the best way you're going to get out of this class. So again, the goal is not for you to learn anything in this class. The goal for you is to be, all right? You don't learn how to become a professional trader. You just be a professional trader. Professional trader has its characteristics. It has things that a professional trader does. And as long as you do those things, you will be a professional trader. You don't need to learn anything. Okay, and we're going to dive into that as well today and take a look at why it's not about learning, but it's actually about being. So before we get started, type in a yes if I have your commitment that you're going to play full out today, right? You're not going to sit in the sidelines and just listen to my voice, but you're going to participate. So type in a yes if you're actually going to participate and you're going to play full out, right? Some of the stuff might sound hocus pocus, some of the stuff might sound airy-fairy, California type. It might sound like that, but what I want you to get out of the class is to get rid of your ego, right? Get rid of the ego and trade in a way that a professional trader trades, okay? So I urge you to participate, whenever a question is being asked. And also, if maybe we're asking a question, let's say, about Lee, maybe we're taking a look at David's trading, right? Put yourself in those shoes, because every time somebody else, is being talked about, you're also going to learn, all right? So let's dive in. So this first chapter, we're going to take a look at the truth about trading, right? Mindfulness, failure, the life, and a lot of other things. So here's a quote. I don't know who made this quote or who said this quote, but the quote's pretty awesome, right? The road to success is always under construction. And if you guys watched the video that I posted about what does even true success even mean, that's exactly what it is. The road to success is not some destination that you get, right? It's that journey is where you need to find, your happiness. And the road to success is always under construction, right? I'm still working. I'm still learning every single day. I'm more of a student of this game than anybody else, right? And a lot of people don't know a lot of things about me, but because they know me as a trader. He comes in, he has live traders, but there's a lot of other things that I can't talk about because of non-disclosure agreements that I've signed. But pretty popular proprietary trading firms in New York City, they pay me like $10,000-$20,000 to go out and speak to their traders. So that's stuff that I don't talk about because of the non-disclosure agreements that we have with the firm. Can't disclose the names. But that's a lot of other things that I do. And I'm still learning. I'm still a student of the game more than anybody else. Every day I'm learning. Every day I'm getting better. Every day I'm focusing on the next goal as a trader. Because the moment you get comfortable, the moment you get complacent, right, that's where trading starts to go downhill. And we're going to take a look at that in today's lesson as well. So, the truth about trading, right? So first of all, let's not sugarcoat anything, right? Trading is a very challenging business, right? And this is one of the things that it's sad to see, but people don't talk about online, right? If you go to any other trading firm, if you go to any other trading education course company or anything like that, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, trading is very easy. Look at our indicator that we have here, or look at the software that we're selling you, or look at this course where you just do this or that, or you just copy these trades. I mean, they just want you to believe that it's easy. And today we're going to have open discussion, and I'm going to really dive in and even talk to you guys about how this trading education industry even works, which is a pretty dirty industry, if you know what I mean. So let's not sugarcoat anything. Trading is a very challenging business. There's just no doubt about it, right? And one of the main reasons that people struggle to succeed in this business is because it requires a level of self-discipline and objectivity that simply isn't necessary or present in any other profession. Now, what do I mean when I say this? Right? So when we work with someone, right, or even if we own our own business, we're constantly being watched and overseen by our manager, our boss, our vendors, suppliers, clients, right? We always have people to deal with. And these people constantly give us feedback and critique our efforts and results, right? And they give us guidelines. Here's how we got to do things. Here's how we must operate, blah, 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 blah. In essence, they are kind of like our accountability partners, right? They're like our personal police force in the business world, making sure that we toe the line. Otherwise, we can be fired. We have consequences if we do something wrong. Or perhaps the business will fail. Now, what happens, think about it. What happens in a lawless society, guys, right? Think about it. What happens in a lawless society? Chaos. That's what happens, right? Chaos. That's what happens in a lawless society. So the truth is that most people have no experience managing themselves with no one looking over their shoulder. Nobody does that, right? And that is what makes trading so darn tough, and the reason why most people prefer a 9-to-5 job that requires very little creative thinking and also no responsibility. So let me explain this, what I really mean by this when by what's written on here on this text. So think about it. Let's assume I'm in a job now, all right? Or even let's take a trading job, for example, right? Let's say I'm working for a hedge fund, right? And I'm just a trader, and my boss is a hedge fund manager, and he says, Anmol, all right, I'm hiring you on board. Here's what your salary is going to be, and here are our policies. Here are the guidelines, and just follow this and trade like this, all right? So you get into this trade when it does this. If it hits this target, you're going to take your profit, And if it hits this, you're going to get out. That's your job. Do it. Go right ahead. And guess what? You do it, right? You do it. Why do you do it? You follow the plan that was provided to you, right? And why is that? Why do we do it when somebody else tells us to do it? Well, because you're working for him. He's the one paying your checks. So if you don't follow your plan, if you don't do what your boss is saying, you're going to have consequences, right? You're going to get a warning, then you're going to get fired eventually, right? And same thing with business. Let's say we're running our own business. We have our clients. If we don't do a good job, our clients are going to tell us, right? If our suppliers tell us, hey, you aren't paying your bills on time, they're going to tell us. So we get constant feedback. In any job, in any business, we get that. But trading is the only profession in the whole wide world where there is no accountability. Think about that for a second, what I just said. Trading is the only business in this world where you do not have anybody looking over your shoulder. There's no accountability, right? There's nothing. There's nobody. There's no suppliers. There's no vendors. There's no clients. There's no anything. There's just you and your computer. And computers are human, so it's basically just you. Think about that for a second. That's why most people don't make it. I've been thinking about it for so long, and the reason why most people don't make it is just a lack of accountability because there's nobody there. I mean, you could literally come in and trade, all day long and lose money, and nobody will ever find out. I mean, a lot of you guys probably hide it from your partners as well, right? A lot of you guys probably hide it from your partners how bad you did or how good you did, right? So that's the whole thing about this, how this industry works, is that we have no accountability. There's just nobody there to help us, to tell us we're messing up. And the trading room's there. People can come into the trading room, and that's a great approach because then we can review your trades and give you feedback in real time. But even then, if you really wanted to, you could mess up, not take your stop loss, lose thousands of dollars, and simply just close your browser, not tell anybody. Nobody will ever find out. Your friends will never find out. Your wife will never find out. Your partner will never find out, right? And if you don't tell it in the room, nobody's going to find out. So it feels like we're getting away with it, right? That's what it feels like. It feels like we're getting away with it, right? Because there's nobody looking at it. And this is the reason most people don't make it in trading. It's just because they don't have anybody there to tell you that they're messing up. There's no consequences, basically. Because try this in a job. Try this in a job, right? I mean, it happened with me. I hired somebody last year. Obviously, I fired her. But I hired this girl, and all her job was that I'm going to run the room, I'm going to moderate, and I'm going to call trades, and you're going to open my account, and you're going to be trading it so then I can do it efficiently. So I hired somebody. And I gave her, all right, here's the trade that you got to take, and then when it gets to 2 hour, you exit it for me. So basically, I hired somebody to trade on my behalf, and I just called out trades. And she wasn't doing it, right? She was messing up. She was not holding to target. She was, thinking about her own emotions. And I just said, you know what? It's not going to work. And I fired her, right? And then she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to do it again. And, I might give her another shot now. But do you see, because of those consequences, she was like, you know what, I'm going to do it next time. I'm going to follow the plan. Because now she knows there's consequences. But as an individual trader, just trading for ourselves, there's just no consequences. And that's one of the biggest reasons. And, and we don't exactly know how we're going to react to something until we actually are faced with it, right? So despite what you're going to learn in this chapter, you'll still have to put in the time and effort to overcome bad habits, right? And this starts with being objective and honestly, being frank and honest with yourself, right? That's where most traders fail. They're just not objective. They're just not honest with themselves, right? And what happens is it's over before it even starts, and they don't even know it yet. So our job is to always be objective and never make excuses, right? Don't be a victim. This is not a business for you to feel like a victim, right? There is no HFT after you. There is no market maker taking your stop loss. There just isn't. Because unless you can prove it, it doesn't exist. Simple as that, right? So there's no HFT after you. There's no market maker looking at your stop loss. There doesn't exist. Market is the market. Market doesn't care about me. Market doesn't care about you. Market doesn't care about anybody else, right? If Bill Gates comes and opens a brokerage account and puts on a trade, and I put on a trade, it's the exact same thing. Market's not going to give any benefit to Bill Gates because he's Bill Gates, right? The way orders work in the market is FIFO, right? First in, first out. The first person who puts the order in is the first one to get filled. So, another question I always get in room is like, how do you get filled, before anybody? Well, that's how the market works, because every time I call a trade, I always put my order in first. So first in, first out. So I'm always going to get, first preference. That's just how the markets work. So regardless of whether it's Bill Gates or Russell Branson or whoever people can come, market doesn't care about anybody. Market is just what the market is. That's how it is, right? So what are we going to take a look at in this class? And let me just open up the whiteboard real quick here. So the way I think about it is in trading, let's say this is trading, right? And this is not something that I invented, this concept. This is something that I also learned at a workshop that I attended. This was not related to trading, but I saw, this is going to be totally applicable to trading as well. So let's say this circle, right? This is all we can ever know about trading is inside this circle. Everything we can ever know about trading, from strategies to psychology to management, everything there is to know about trading exists inside this circle, right? Now, most people, this is an area right here called what you know, right? This is what you know about trading. That's all. This is what you know about trading, all right? And this is what you don't know about trading, right? So this is what you know and this is what you don't know. Now, what do most people do, guys? What do most people do when they don't know something? Type in the answer. What do most people do when they don't know something? Right, so Lee says learn more, Joel says research, Leslie says educate, Google it, I like that. They seek answers, fake it till they make it, ask questions, study. Okay, cool, all right things. All right things, right? Study, research, Google, learn. So what's really happening when we do that, right? What really happens when we actually are doing that? So we're learning the stuff that we don't know, right? We're learning the stuff that we don't know in the hopes of expanding this area, right? In the hopes of expanding this area and making the area of knowing bigger, right? That's what we're trying to do. So what we don't know, we try and learn that through research, through study, and we try and expand the area that we know, right? That's what we're trying to do. But then there's this whole area right here, which is area that we don't know, that we don't know, that we don't know, if that makes sense, right? So this is what we know. This is what we don't know. And this whole area is area that we don't even know that we don't even know, right? And this is what we call a blind spot. Now, this is not a concept that I invented. This is something that I learned at a workshop, and I thought, you know what? This is going to be so helpful for traders as well. And so all this area is our blind spot, stuff that we don't even know that we don't even know. And this is the area that we're going to deal with today, as long as you agree to play full out. Okay? So we're going to deal today in this zone, the stuff that we don't know that we don't know, rather than trying to learn. Because, learning doesn't make a difference, guys. Learning doesn't make a difference. It's all about actions, right? It's all about actions. Because think about it. Go down, walk through the street, and see how many people you notice that are overweight, right? See how many people that you know are obese. Do you think they don't know what they need to do, right? Think about it. Do they don't know what they need to do? Everybody knows what they need to do to lose weight, right? It's simple. You work out, you eat less, and that's it. That's all we need to do. So then why is it that most people aren't receiving the results? Because they know what they need to do. And a lot of people think that they don't know, so they try and learn more, right? They try and maybe Google something, they maybe read more articles, they maybe purchase some more courses, and they just keep learning. But it's that stuff that you already know. And I'm going to really explain that to you today, that you already know things, right? And it's all about action, actually doing stuff, okay? All right. So fear-based trading. So are you a fear-based trader full of self-doubt? So ask yourself this question. Is your fear of loss stronger than your hope for gain? Yeah? Does this fear compromise your capacity to trade profitably? So I want you to answer this question. Type in a 1 if your fear of loss is stronger than your hope of gain. So what that means is when you enter a trade, you're more worried about what you're going to lose then you're worried about excited about what you're going to make, right? So you get into a trade, you're actually more fearful of the loss than you are excited about the target. Right? See that? Everybody's a one almost. Everybody's almost a one. So when we get into the trade, basically what we're saying is we are more fearful of our losses than we are excited about our gain. Think about what that just means, right? So everybody says, oh, I'm a really positive person, I'm really positive, I'm really optimistic, but then this one question negated everybody's theory of how positive they are, right? How optimistic they are. So if any of you thought you were optimistic people, now you know who you are. You're not optimistic because your fear of loss is stronger than your excitement of the gain. So everybody in here is a pessimist, okay? So now, does this fear compromise our capacity to trade profitably? Now, you don't need to answer this because we already know the answer, right? The answer is yes. This fear compromises our capacity to trade profitably. I mean, this could be the make or break between if you're going to make it in trading and if you're not, all right? And again, guys, during this class, if any time you think that I'm speaking too fast or you don't understand anything, I want you to stop me right there, okay? Because I want you to clear every single thing that we go over today. So if anything that I go over doesn't make sense to you or doesn't resonate with you, or maybe you didn't understand what I mean, feel free to stop me. Do not move on, or don't let me move on to the next slide until this first slide is actually clear. All right? So what are our options then, guys? What are our options? I mean, we are a fear-based trader. Now what can we do? Well, there's only three things. Either we can quit trading, right? Either we can continue to trade and lose money, okay? Or three, we can take a look at why we do what we do. Yeah? That means to take a more introspective and objective look at ourselves and our deficiencies. Because everybody has them. Nobody here is perfect, not even me. I mean, Jared might be close to perfect, but I'm far from it. I have so many issues, So it's important to take a more introspective and objective look at our deficiencies, because that's the only way you're ever going to be able to overcome it. Okay? So until your fears are overcome, your potential as a trader, your full potential as a trader, will never be realized. I hate to say it, but until you overcome your fears, your potential as a trader will never be realized. I'm going to say it one more time. Until your fears are overcome, your potential as a trader will never be realized. And the problem and the solution all lies within ourselves. All lies within ourselves. Okay? Because people who are attending this class, there's three types of people. Alright? The three types of people who are attending this class. One, you know how to trade, but you're not making money. Right? Two, you are making money, but you know you have some deficiencies and you want to overcome them so you can go to the next level. Third type of trader is like, hey, I just wanted to check out what the class is all about. There's only three types of people. Now, the first type of people who are here, who are not making money, you're definitely going to get a lot out of this class, but make sure to ask and clear out every question that you have by the end of this class. And those who are already making money and you want to go to the next level and you want strategies to help you get to the next level, we're going to do that too. So make sure to stick around if it's possible. If you guys have to leave, that's fine. You guys can watch the recording. But definitely make sure to stick around till the end, because what I'm going to do at the end of this class is I'm going to give every single one, we're going to have like a 5-minute conversation, and I'm going to give everybody a plan to follow going forward and customize to everybody. It's not going to be, hey, everybody do 2 hours or nothing. No, not like that. We're going to take a look at everybody's emotions, and I'm going to customize, and I'm going to give you a trading plan to follow for the next 6 months. Now, if you come back after 6 months and you've been following it, I can pretty much assure you you're going to be making money positive. Right? If you come back after 6 months and you were not able to follow the plan, then you know that the fault does not lie in the industry, the fault does not lie in the strategies, the fault lies within, and don't be scared of that, just admit that the fault lies within, and then you are ready to move forward. Okay? Okay, no problem, David. You can watch the recording, but again, if you guys are leaving, make sure to type in any questions that you want to get answered, right? Because if you're leaving, type in any questions you want answered, because then when you watch the recording, at least I've gone over your questions, right? So that's another good thing we can do. Okay, so next slide. So imagine a business, right? So guys, imagine this. Imagine a career, imagine a profession, imagine a business where there's very little overhead, okay? We can set our own work hours, right? All our assets are liquid all the time, and we're never really tied to one place or one location, right? We can trade from anywhere in the world. You know, we can't be fired, we cannot be laid off. Think about it. We cannot be fired, we cannot be laid off, we don't have to be tied to one place or location. All our assets are liquid at all time. We can set our own work hours, very little overhead. We can take vacation whenever we want. We can work from home, right? And if you're good at it, the potential of making money is almost limitless. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Like, sounds pretty darn good. If you tell somebody that this is what your business or your profession is going to be like, it sounds pretty darn good. So then what I don't get is when you have the world's best opportunity right in front of you, why don't more people take it seriously? Think about it. I mean, there's no other profession in this life. Tell me one other profession. Like, there's no other business or profession that allows you all those things, like no overhead, set our own hours, all assets are liquid. I mean, like, come on. We're getting the world's best profession, but then it just boggles my mind to see why more people don't take it more seriously. They treat it like a hobby. They treat it like a game, right? It's a business, and it's a pretty darn good business, right? You have all these perks in the world, but people still don't take it seriously. So it's your choice, guys, right? It's your choice. Do you want this kind of lifestyle, right? Do you want this kind of lifestyle, or do you want this kind of lifestyle, right? The difference is free, or do you want this kind of lifestyle, right? The difference is freedom, time, and flexibility to do what you want, when you want, how you want, on our own terms. That's our choice we make it. So every time you break your trading plan, guys, every time you get the urge to break your trading plan, every time you get the urge to do something stupid that you know is not part of your plan, you know it already. Don't think that we make a mistake and we don't know what we're doing. Everybody in here, whenever we've made a mistake, we already know that we're making a mistake, don't we? Every time you don't take your stop loss, you know you're making a mistake, right? Every time you take your target early, we know we're making a mistake. It's not that it just happens, right? It's not that it just happens. Yeah, like Zig Ziglar. Remember, Zig Ziglar used to say that he gained like 30 pounds. So Zig Ziglar is like a personal trainer, not a personal trainer, personal development coach. So he used to say that, I gained knowingly. I gained like 20, 30 pounds, right? I gained 20, 30 pounds with my own choice. And people are like, what? Why did you gain 20, 30 pounds with your own choice? He's like, well, because I didn't unknowingly eat anything. Nobody forced me to eat anything. I ate the darn thing. That's why I knew what I was doing. So every time we break our trading plan, we already know we're messing up. We already know it. There's a voice inside our head that says, don't do it, don't do it. But yet, we still end up doing it. So every time you get that urge of breaking your trading plan, just show yourself this. Do we want this? Or do we want this? What do you want? Think about it. Do we want this? Or do we want this? Right? This is the difference between following your trading plan and breaking your trading plan. I've seen people come and go, guys, right? I've been in this education game pretty long time. Live traders, and then before that I was working for the prop firm. Maybe some of you guys are following me from there. I used to trade from them. For a prop firm in New York, so I was trading for them, and now I'm here, and I've seen traders come and go, all the time, come and go. I've seen education companies come and go, right? The difference between following your trading plan and not is the difference maker between whether you succeed in this business or you don't, honestly. So what is trading really then? Okay? Trading is simply a systematic approach to making money in the stock market or forex markets based off technical chart patterns that exploit two human emotions, which are fear and greed. That's all that it is. Trading is basically a game of statistical probability using price action patterns that mainly deal with two emotions, fear and greed. So these technical charts work based on statistical probability, right? But these statistics only work in our favor if we are consistent with our approach. Yeah? They will only work if we're consistent with our approach. What do I mean by that? Well, here's the thing. What if you flip a coin, right? We take a coin and we flip it. And we say heads. And what happens? It comes tails. Next time we flip it again, we say heads. What happens? It comes heads, right? We flip it again. We say heads. And what happens? Comes heads. We win again. We flip it again. We say heads again. And comes tails, and we lose, right? But if you just keep flipping the coin long enough, we're going to have a 50-50 batting average, right? We're going to have a 50-50 win ratio. And that's what trading is. Whenever you buy a particular stock, it can only do two things. So as soon as you go long a stock or a currency pair, there's only two things it can do. Either it can go up or either it can go down. So you have a 50-50% chance of being right and 50-50% chance of being wrong. So think about it. I could take a Wall Street Journal newspaper, put it on my wall, and take darts, right? And I literally just throw darts on the Wall Street Journal and say long, short, long, short. And just by doing that, I will have a 50% batting average, because whenever you buy a stock, there's only two things that can happen, guys. Either it can go up, either it can go down. That's it. So just by our very nature of trading, we already have a 50% win rate. So by their very nature, nobody should actually be losing money, right? Because everybody should be a break-even trader, because they have a 50% batting average. But then why do people lose? I mean, if you're getting in with a 50% batting average, and as long as your winners are equal to your losers, you're going to break even. So why do people lose then? You know why? Because they're not consistent with it. They flip the coin, they bet heads. Comes tails, right? They flip it again, now they say tails. Now it comes heads. They're like, oh shit, now I'm going to say, then they flip it again. They say heads, and now comes tails. So they're always changing their approach, right? If you flip a coin, try it. Flip a coin, just bet on heads, heads, heads all the time. You're going to have a 50% batting average. But if you flip it and you keep saying heads, tails, you keep switching your approach, your batting average is going to go down. Think about what I just said. It's a simple approach, but most people don't get it. Most people don't get it. Because you are changing your approach is why you don't make money, right? So trading is not about patterns or strategies or anything like that. It's only about consistency with an approach. So what do I mean by consistency? Consistency could mean consistent trade types. Maybe you're like, you know what, I only want to do breakouts, or I only want to do pullbacks. So you're trading the same type of setup every single time. Either it could be consistent trade type, it could be consistent risk level on every trade, which I think it has to be for everybody. I mean, that's like a non-negotiable for me. If you have to have the same risk level on every single trade, that's like a non-negotiable for me, right? Consistent trade types, patterns, okay, fine, you can get away with trading a bunch of different patterns, but consistent risk level for me is a non-negotiable, okay? Non-negotiable, like you just have to have that. It's just period, because you can't have a $100 trade and now you made $2 on it, and then the next trade you take like $500 and you have a loser on it, right? It's not going to work out. So the risk level has to be the same on every single trade. You cannot have a trade with a $1,000 risk being a winner, and then you take a trade with a $2,000 risk and have a loser. It just doesn't work. So the risk level has to be the same. Now, the next point is consistent trade management, right? Consistent trade management, which is, again, I'm not saying do all or nothing or anything like that. All I'm saying is consistency. So you can pick your own management style, whatever floats your boat. But as long as you do that consistently, what's going to happen is the odds are going to take care of itself. So maybe you track your trades going back a year, 2 years, whatever, and you notice that, if I just did this approach, 1.5 hour stock to break even, and then targets 2 hour, and maybe that's your management, and you track it, and it tells you, okay, if you do this management, your Sharpe ratio is going to be 1.7, and your batting average is going to be 50% or 60%, right? So just by looking at those statistics, we already know that that way of trading is profitable, that way of trading will make money, right? Because we already tracked it. So now our goal then is to actually just go out and do it and to make money, right? So consistent trade management. Because if you keep changing your management on every different trade or every different week or every different month, you keep changing your trade management, what's going to happen is you keep messing with your odds. You keep messing with the probability. You keep messing with the statistics. And that's how you lose money. So consistent money management rules, okay? So to be consistent, it takes massive amounts of discipline, right? Without this discipline, it's nearly impossible to succeed. This is why most people fail, because knowing the right thing to do and actually doing it are two different things, right? Does that make sense? Like, knowing what to do and actually doing it are two separate things. So let's go back to the example of weight loss, right? Everybody knows what they need to do. But why is it that 63% of people in America are still overweight? Everybody knows what they need to do, but actually doing it is a separate thing altogether, right? So make no excuse. The market is what it is. Some trades work and some don't. That's just the honest truth. And, you know, I hate when other trading education companies say, oh, you can have 90% batting average or blah, 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 100% batting average. Our trading system never loses. It's all bullshit. Some trades work and some don't. But the odds are always in our favor if we follow the rules. Think about it. The odds are always in our favor if we just follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, if you don't have discipline, forget about making money, right? So actions speak louder than words. So don't tell me what you think. Show me what you do. And I've had so many coaching students that I've done one-on-one coaching with, and they're all showing me all these things. Oh, Anmol, I've been noticing that, these market environments, stocks are not going 2R. I don't want to hold till 2R. They're not going 2R in this market environment, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, can you show me in a spreadsheet, right, all your trades going back a month, how they did with 2R against yourself? And they don't have it. They don't have it, right? And they just think. So please, I want to say this. Trading does not have leeway for human emotion as much as you guys think, right? The more, I don't want to say unemotional, because you cannot totally get rid of your emotions ever unless you die, right? Unless we die, we can never get rid of our emotions. That just doesn't happen, right? But how we can deal with it, live with it, and control it, and not let it take over our life is what we need to do, all right? So it comes down to the point about mindfulness. And let me just give myself some coffee. 1 second, guys. Hey, Sonny, can you run down to Starbucks, get me that cappuccino? Yeah, call. Yeah, just ask them to put French vanilla instead of milk in there. Thanks. So, next thing is mindfulness. Mindfulness, all right? The capacity to be aware of our thoughts, beliefs, and biases in real time. You cannot hear me? Hold on. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? Cool. All right, so brings us to our next point about mindfulness, right? What is mindfulness? We hear this term a lot, right? It's kind of overused. It's kind of overused term in personal development space about mindfulness, right? What is mindfulness, right? We hear this term all the time. So what mindfulness is our ability to be aware of our thoughts, beliefs, and biases in real time. Not after the fact, not hindsight. A lot of people have hindsight. Everybody in here has hindsight, right? Oh, only if I held it to target. Oh, I should have held it to target. Oh, I would have done that. Oh, I should have done this. Oh, I would have entered here. Should have, would have, could have, would have, would have, right? And that's all hindsight. What mindfulness is actually being aware of our thoughts, our beliefs, and our biases in real time. In real time, right? So our thoughts and state of mind always follow our emotion. Emotion does not follow thought. A lot of people think opposite. A lot of people think that, oh, I had this emotion, and oh my God, I had this thought, and then that thought created emotion and things like that. But it's actually the other way around, right? First, we have that emotion, right? And then emotion gives us a thought. And if we act on that thought or not, that's what differentiates professional traders from those who don't. So emotions are triggered when there is a disruption of a familiar or established pattern. Okay? Emotions are triggered when there's a disruption of familiar or established pattern. And for us humans, what happens is, going back from the time of, when humans were cavemen, right? We were cavemen, we were early humans or whatever. All we had were fight or flight, right? So if we saw danger, we ran away. And it's natural. I mean, you put a hand on your stove, what happens? You immediately pull it away. That's your body saying, don't do that. That hurts, right? Or maybe we go to, let's say, you see a beautiful woman, right? You see a beautiful woman, you want to talk to her, but you're scared, right? You don't want to go up to her, and people think that you're scared, but that's actually fight or flight, because in old times when humans used to be in tribes and stuff like that, if you asked out a woman, maybe he had his own, man or a different tribe leader, whatever, he'd come and beat you up, or you would get in a war or something. So that's how all these emotions still exist. So we've moved into 2017, but the human brain is still wired like we were wired, like, whatever, when humans came into Earth, right? We were wired with the thing called fight or flight. And fight or flight is a good thing, right? I mean, you don't want to put your hand on the stove and keep your hand on the stove, right? You don't want to keep burning yourself. If you see a, wild animal or whatever, you're going to run, probably, right? So it does have its benefit, fight or flight. But what happens is we humans are hardwired that way, so we carry that into our professional life, into our personal life, into a lot of different areas. Now, you're not going to be able to completely get rid of it ever, right? Let me tell you this. We're not going to be able to completely get rid of this amygdala. There you go. It stores in there. So, and we're never going to be able to get rid of it, because that's just how humans are wired. That's just how it is. It's not going to change ever. However, we can learn to live with it. We can learn to control it. And we can learn to acknowledge it and say, you know what? I see the benefit of that thought, but I'm not going to act on it, right? A desire or a thought that you have is not a call to action. Does that make sense? So when you have a thought, when you have a desire to do something, it doesn't mean you got to do it. Yeah? You can acknowledge it. So I have bad thoughts all the time. I'm in a trade. I mean, I'm like, you know what? I don't think it's going to hit 2R. I don't think it's going to go to my target. Maybe I should take my profit early. Maybe I should raise my stop. I still have those thoughts. Even though I'm doing all or nothing every single trade that I take, right? And in the room, you guys are like, wow, this guy is awesome. He's all or nothing every single trade. But I still have those thoughts when I'm here. When I'm not on the mic, I'm still thinking, man, I don't think this is going to go to target. Maybe I should raise my stop. Maybe I should do this. I still have those thoughts. But what I've learned is to control it and not make it a call to action. Doesn't mean I need to act on my thoughts. I mean, geez. Can you guys imagine if we started acting on every single thought we had? Right? Imagine every single thought we had as human, then we started acting on it. I mean, our life would be hell, right? We started acting on every single thought we had. So we got to acknowledge the thought. So when I have those thoughts, I'm like, you know what? I just had this thought, right? I just had this thought. But I say, you know what, Anmol? If I act on this thought, I'm kind of going against my trading plan. So if I'm going against my trading plan, I'm basically giving up my future. Then I look at it. Then I tell myself, which other profession will give you ability to work from anywhere, right? Low overheads, cannot be fired, cannot be laid off. I have all these benefits. Why would I want to go against a career like that? I say to myself, I say that to myself, and then I'm like, you know what? This is the difference between me really making it and me not making it. This is the difference. And then I'm like, you know what? Thank you, thoughts, right? And I acknowledge the thought. I'm like, thank you for those thoughts, but I'm not going to act on it, right? So emotions are triggered when there's a disruption of a familiar or established pattern. This often leads to stress. And what happens is that stress leads to fear. And what happens, that fear leads to bad decision making. All our bad decision making comes down to our fear, right? So emotions trigger a pattern. This pattern leads to stress. The stress leads to fear. And this fear leads to bad decision making. And with the bad decision making then leads to improper trading. And that improper trading leads to lost money. That's how it works. It's as simple as that. So we create our understanding of our world from our adaptations to our deepest fears and desires. Right? We create our understanding of our world from our adaptations to our deepest fears and desires. And this is something that Jeff Yates used to say. So Jeff Yates runs the Forex room, right? And he's a great guy. I mean, I learned a lot from Jeff. Back in the day, Jeff was actually a coach and I was a student, right? So I learned a lot from him, and he used to say that, Anmol, why do you want this? I'm like, well, because why do you want to succeed as a trader? I'm like, well, because I want money. He's like, well, why do you want the money? And he just kept asking me why. And he's like, I'm like, why are you asking me these questions? He's like, well, you got to find the why that makes you cry. And I was like, oh, that's a cheesy line. But then I thought about it. Like, that's cheesy, but you know what? That's really true. And he kept asking me, like, why? Why do you want to make it as a trader? I'm like, well, because I want to make money. He's like, well, why do you want to make money? I'm like, well, because, I want the time, flexibility, and freedom. He's like, well, why do you want the time, flexibility, and freedom? I'm like, well, because I never had it before. He's like, why? You never had it before? And, well, then it came down to whatever. He was like, well, maybe in school I wasn't the most popular kid, and, now I want to do good, and I prove it to the world, right? And then it kept drilling down, kept asking the question when it really leads into something that probably, again, not to be hocus pocus, but it'll lead into something that probably happened to you in the past or whatever, right? You're trying to prove yourself. You find that why. And when you find your true purpose or why you do what you do, that's when things start to change, right? Finding that why. So we must develop mindfulness as a tool to examine our thoughts in the middle of trade, right? Before we take a trade and after we've exited the trade. Otherwise, we lose objective perspective and begin the fear-based process all over again, which ensures the same thing will happen the next time, right? So when we're in a trade and the trade has been done, you did what you wanted to do, and now you look at the trade after you've taken it, yeah, it'll do you some good because you learned something, but you'll do it again, right? So we need to get ourselves to a point where you can look at your thoughts and your feelings in the middle of a trade while it's actually happening. That's when you really get trading, right? So, and anytime, guys, if you feel like you want to take a break at any time, let me know. Right now, we're not going to take a break. Probably in the next 30 minutes, we'll take a break. But looks like this class is going to be long, because I thought this class might be like 2 hours or 3 hours, but I'm looking at it, like there's like 81 slides, and I'm still on the slide number 13. So this class could be long, all right? But I'm going to be here as long as it takes because you guys donated to the charity, and that means a lot to me, right? So this class is going to be long, all right? Be prepared. So now, are you serious, right? Most traders fail before they even start trading. Right? Most traders fail before they even start trading. Now, I want you guys to answer every one of these questions. Like, when you get into the trading, did you know that you're running a business? Think about it. When we're actually trading, we're running a business. We're kind of an entrepreneur, aren't we? Right? We're creating something from nothing. We're creating a trading business from nothing. So we are actually business owners in a way. We're entrepreneurs. So we are running a business. So if you're running a business, what does a business have? What will trading have? Well, do we have a business plan? Do we have a trading plan? Right? So type in a 1 if you have a trading plan. Type in a 0 if you don't have a trading plan. All right. Okay. Cool. So it looks like most of you have the trading plan and a couple of you guys don't have the trading plan. Okay, good. Good. So now, let me ask you this. Do you have a trading journal? Type in a 2 if you have a trading journal. Type in a 0 if you don't have it. And let me tell you this. Trading journal is not a trading plan. Trading journal is not a trading spreadsheet. They're two separate things. I know I caught you, some of you guys. Right? So some of you have it, some of you don't. Okay, great. Okay, great. Now what about a trade tracking spreadsheet? Again, that is different from a trading journal. Trading journal is where you write down your thoughts, your feelings, why you did what you did. What were you going through? And trade tracking spreadsheet is a log of your trades. Right? So do you have both of them? Do you have both of them or do you only have one? Think about it. Now, Both. Okay. Cool. I like that. All right. Awesome. So some of you have it, some of you have one of them. Okay, fine. That's fine. That's fine. There's no right or wrong. Well, there kind of is, but that's fine. Now, do we have the most competitive commissions or the fees? Right? Because again, we're running a business, right? If I'm opening up right now, let's say which I am actually, I'm opening up a auto mechanic shop, if you guys didn't know. So I bought this property for like $1 million. It's like a massive 10,000 square feet property. And I bought this franchise of a Meineke store. I'm not going to be running the store. I hired a manager. I had like a whole team to run my business. So I'm opening up that, right, using the profits from my trading, right? So what I was trying to say is, now that I'm opening up this new business, what do? I try and find the best prices, right? If my manager is going to be doing this auto business, I need to find the best prices. So that what happened? There's AutoZone, right? There's Advanced Auto Parts, AAP, stock symbol AAP. So where can I get my parts from? And what happened? I called every single supplier, all right, and I said, hey, what are you going to charge me for this? What are you going to charge me for that? I'm trying to get the best price for myself, right? Because I want to make it in this business. And that's what my goal is. That's why I trade. I trade not to trade. I trade to make money, and then I use that money and I buy real estate. I'm learning from Jared. I mean, Jared's freaking flying in private jets and stuff. I don't have a private jet right now, but hopefully in the future I can grow up like and be like Jared. But that's what I'm working towards. Is I take my trading money and put it next time. So the goal of what I'm saying is, you try and find the best rates for yourself, right? You're running a business. Why would you pay $50 for something when it's available from another shop for $35? Why would you do that? You won't. You're going to try and get the best price. So when we're trading, isn't our objective to find the best competitive commissions and fees? Why would I trade with a broker that is charging me $10 per trade or $5 per trade when there is a different broker maybe charging you 40 cents, right? I mean, especially for a newer trader. If you're trading $300 risk, $500 risk, $1,000 risk, then that's fine. You know, retail brokers start to make sense. But if you're only risking like $100 on a trade or less than that or $200, why would you want to pay $5, $10 per commission, right? Why not trade with a prop broker where you're going to pay 40 cents for every 100 shares that you trade? So you have to find the best rates for yourself. We're running a business here. Do we have a professional, reliable platform, right? Do we have a trading platform that's going to be professional, that's going to help us get to the next level? Or are we still trading on, Zeco or, TD Ameritrade or, stuff like that? We want a professional, reliable platform. And, that's one of the things people keep saying to me, Anmol, you always seem to get filled on all these trades and we are getting slippage here. I'm like, dude, what platform are you on? They're on Interactive Brokers, TD Ameritrade, right? Whereas I'm trading direct market access using dark pools to get into the trade. I'm giving myself the best shot of getting filled at that trade, right? I mean, just go take a look and read the documents. TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, they're all public companies, right? Read their documents, guys, on how they make money. You guys will be surprised. Read the document that they publish, the earnings report, and see how they make their money. They sell your order flow. They sell your order flow to other ECNs, to other routes, to other brokerages, and then you get filled. So first you send your order to Thinkorswim, they send it to an ECN, the ECN sends it to a different route, and then you get filled if it's available. That's why on retail platform you always get it late. Whereas if you're using a direct market access platform, you enter an ECN, that's it. Your order goes straight to that ECN and you're going to get filled. Whereas Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, your order flow is being sold. If you don't believe me, read the income reports. It's right in there. It's called payment for order flow. Open the earnings reports. You're going to see it. Payment for order flow. What that means is basically they're selling your order flow to somebody else, and then you get filled later. But that's why you always get filled later. What platform do I use? I use Sterling Trader, right? Sterling Trader. I use. It's a little bit expensive. It's $300 a month, but I use that because it's worth it for me. So now, do we have a realistic approach? Right? Do we have a realistic view on what trading even is? Most people don't. And I don't blame you. It's all the emails you get, right? When I get into this trading industry, I open my email and I'm like, 90% win rate, win every time, follow our signals. Then this other guy, how I made $1 million using this or that. Then this other guy is make $1 million using penny stock. Then you get an email from a Forex people, 99% Forex robot. I mean, what happens is people buy all this bullshit marketing, and then what happens is they have an unrealistic approach of trading. They come into trading and they want to make $1 million overnight. It doesn't happen, guys. It doesn't happen like that. Sorry to, ruin your dream, but it doesn't happen like that. It takes work. So think about it. Have we really thought this through, right? We're running a business. So are we running a business? Do we have a business plan? Do we have a trading plan? Do we have a trading journal? Do we have a trade tracking spreadsheet? Do we have competitive commission fees? Do we have the best platform we can get? Do we have a realistic approach? Have you really thought this through, right? So here's a little saying by Don Miller. He's a $1 million trader. First, I learned that successful trading is far, far more than understanding charts, which is why despite hundreds of books on technical analysis, most traders struggle. This is why I spent so much time on my journal and the non-technical aspects of trading. Anyone can understand charts, yet it's the non-technical obstacles that prevent most traders from succeeding. And that's actually so true, because think about it, guys. Let's say you are on a Sterling trading platform, right? And I'm on a Sterling trading platform. Let's say you've taken PTS. I've also taken PTS, right? So we've all learned from the same book. We all have the same trading platform, right? We have all the same things, but yes, some people will make it and some won't. Why is that? Because a lot of people, as I said, focus on this. They focus on what they know, and what they don't know, they try and take courses for that, and then they're trying to increase that area of don't know to know. Don't know, they try and take courses for that, and then they're trying to increase that area of don't know to know. So they're just working in here. What about all of this right here? This is the stuff that we don't even know that we don't even know.
All right. So what did you guys think? Did it spark something for you? Right? Did it get you thinking? Are you really doing what it needs to be successful? Really think about it for a second, right? So I hope what you listened to this conversation, you got something out of it, right? I cannot emphasize that enough. I really hope you got something out of it. I really hope it got you thinking more than anything, okay? So if you're interested to learn more about this, right, this is a part of a 5 to 6 hour course that I taught. It's a psychology intensive. It really dives in deep. So what you just saw was only one chapter out of my 6-chapter course. Can you imagine if one chapter is so in depth? Can you imagine what the other 6 would be like, right? This is just a sampling from my whole trading psychology course. This is the same course that I teach when I go out and speak at, proprietary trading firms, when I go out to speak to professional traders all over the world. This is kind of what I go over with them. This is the course that I teach them, which, as I said, the firms, they pay me $10,000, $20,000 just to teach this information. But for retail traders, I offer this trading psychology course for $1,997. But if you watch this webinar, I'm doing a special, right, where you can get, again, if you mention you saw this webinar, you can get this whole trading psychology course, the full 5-hour course, or maybe 6 hours. I don't remember how much long it was. And you're going to get that for only $497. And what you're also going to get, I'm going to send you my own trade tracking spreadsheet where I keep a track of my trades, the journal, trading journal. You're going to get that included free with this course, which usually we sell on the website for $97. And not only that, I'm also going to give you the trading recordings, the audio recordings, the hypnosis recordings that I do. Because, when I started trading, I was like, as I said, I just wasn't mentally strong. And I looked everywhere. I took courses, I went to workshops, I even saw a therapist, but it didn't really do anything for me, right? Until I started working with the hypnotherapist, right? At that time, I was like, oh, what is this hocus pocus, fairy, airy, fairy, California stuff, right? But, I really worked with the mindset, really diving deep. And I worked with like a clinical hypnotherapist that you should charge like $500, an hour for a session. But what I did is I convinced him to create a recording that I could listen to, right? So I listened to this very same recording every morning and every night, right, continuously for 3 months. And from then, everything changed for me, right? My trading just skyrocketed. And not just because of the recordings, because if you keep listening to something, right, like affirmations, right, like hypnotherapy, it just, sparks something in you. And I listened to it every day for 3 months. And when I work with students one-on-one, or when I go out and speak to firms, this is a recording I kind of give them. These are 3 recordings in one package. One you listen to in the morning, one you listen to at night, and one you try and listen to anytime you want, right? Anytime recording. So these 3 recordings, we usually sell on the website for $97. You're also going to get those 3 included free, right? My bonus to you. And not only that, with this package, you get a lot of other things included with it. Like one of the things I'm including with it is a free trading plan evaluation. So once you're done with this course, you take everything that you learn in this course, all right, and then you create a trading plan. And I'm going to give a free trading plan evaluation. Usually, for a coaching session with me, I charge like $500 an hour. So what we're going to do is once you finish this course, I want you to email me your trading plan that you created, right? And I will reply back to that email with a full analysis of your trading plan. If needed, I'll get on a phone call or a Skype call with you and kind of go over your trading plan with you. So that's also included with this. Apart from that, I'm also going to give you 2 of our ebooks, okay? Trading Plan Essentials. So this is the guide that you will use to create your trading plan. This is a separate book that we have on our website. It's called Trading Plan Essentials. It's literally about the blueprint, A to Z, how to structure and make and create your trading plan, right? And that's what you're going to use to create the trading plan that I'm going to evaluate. And you're also going to get the Trader's Guide to Success digital version, and you're going to get 1 year of priority email support from me. Usually, as you guys know, I get like hundreds of emails every week, and sometimes it takes me a long time to get reply back to. I just replied back to an email yesterday that I got 4 months ago. So I get a lot of emails. But when you sign up for the course, I put your email in my priority folder. So when I get the email, within 48 hours, I will reply back to you, and you get 1 year that you can email me anytime you want. So again, I really hope you learn something more than anything. Whether you sign up for this trading psychology course or not, that's totally your decision, right? But don't think by not signing up, you're not making a decision, right? Either way, you're going to make a decision, right? Decisions being made either way. Whether you sign up, that's a decision. You don't sign up, that's a decision. Either way, you're making a decision. So might as well make the decision that has more upside, right? Because if you don't take action, you don't make a decision, nothing's going to change. You're going to move on, and you're going to do the same things over and over. You're going to go in and sell too soon, get out too early, not take your stop loss, do stupid things, right? So nothing's going to change. So I urge you to take advantage of this offer, sign up for it, right? I can assure you, like, outside of all the courses I've ever taught, this is my life's best work. Like, this is the course that I'm most proud of, and this is the course that I think will make the biggest difference in your trading. All right, so I hope you learned something there. There should be a link in the captions below. If there isn't, just drop an email to my assistant, info@livetraders.com. She will reply back to you with all the links and get you signed up for it. And I can't wait to work with you. I look forward to working with you and get you the results that you deserve. All right. So again, I hope you enjoyed listening to this session. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and really paying attention and listening. And, do whatever you got to do, because a lot of people are busy watching TV, Netflix, but you chose to spend like an hour or so watching this video. And that tells me a lot about you, regardless of where you are, who you are, right? Maybe we haven't met each other before. But I really want to thank you because you chose not to watch TV or play Xbox, but actually go ahead and watch this video. So again, hope you learned something there, and I can't wait to work with you. Thank you guys.